right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's show. So happy to finally get the opportunity to kind of sit down and chat with you face to face, catch you up on all our chaos, talk about the last couple of weeks, and also how it's all going to continue in literally just a few short hours. Right now, it's 10:13 p.m. and tomorrow morning, sometime early, we're literally going to be hopping in the motorhome, picking up the race trailer, and heading 1,800 miles east to Iowa to kick off our summer Midwest tour. And if you thought you misheard me, you did not. Yes, we are headed to the Midwest here, my family, Holmes Racing, to compete in a bunch of shows, which all lead into the biggest sprint car race of the season each year, the Knoxville 410 Nationals. And I am nothing short of thrilled to get the opportunity to do that. The fact that we're gonna get to go to Knoxville, get to run the 410 Nationals. If you remember, back in 2021, I ran the 360 Nationals, but this year we're running the 410 Nationals as well. The biggest sprint car race. It's like $185,000 to win, I believe. It's $15,000 just to start if you can make the feature. It's just simply unbelievable. So we're gonna get the opportunity to do that, which we'll talk about more kind of a little bit later. But first, we need to kind of catch up on everything that happened between when we left for our 410 Speed Week and Dirt Cup and all the great results we had and some of the unfortunate situations that arose. So since we've never really got the chance to talk about it, NARC 410 Speed Week, starting here at Southern Oregon Speedway, ending at Dirt Cup, ended up being 7 total nights. If I had to give our team a grade on our performance, I would say we were right at a solid 8.5 or 9 out of 10. We had really good speed most of the week. We were pretty consistent. We ran on the podium. We led some laps. We competed for wins. The only reason I wouldn't have given us a 10 out of 10 is just because we didn't win a race. I think that could have kind of sealed the deal. But in general, besides being off a little bit here and there, we were, right there with every single front runner on the West Coast. And that, more than anything, I'm very, very proud of. So that Speed Week went well. We ran top 5 at Dirt Cup. I felt like we did our job with the race car. I did my job behind the wheel, and I just drove as hard as I could to get the best result for my team. Now, with the speed and the good runs we had, we also had 2 situations that popped up that unfortunately hurt our race car and set us back a little bit with our equipment. The first one of those being driver error, I was the idiot, and the second one was equipment failure. But regardless, 2 really solid hits on our race car that unfortunately tweaked that frame. So we get back home after Dirt Cup, we pieced that thing back together, and we still ran well and somehow put together a good finish, like I said, after just smoking the fence, losing a steering box in hot laps, and just thrashing and making it happen. And a very proud moment for me that we pulled through and still ran well. So we get back home, we tear the whole car apart, and now my crew guy Skyler, he drives it down to KPC because it needs to get fixed because we're planning on leaving for the Midwest, this trip. Now you guys got to remember, that was our new primary car. It only had the Speed Week on it, so that was 7 nights. We just got it, and we were planning on running that, the rest of the summer and the rest of 2023. So we go out there and we smoke the fence in turn 1. We got to take it down to get repaired, and we still wanted to race that weekend because Carly was going to run as well of July 1st. We go up north to the Douglas County dirt track, and I pull a bonehead move and smoke the turn 1 fence. And immediately in the moment, it didn't look like there was that much damage, but once we further inspected it in the daylight, we realized that we also bent the right front down tube on that car, and it was kinked in a spot, and there was a little crack, and pretty much they were gonna have to replace at least half the front clip on the nose just so we could run it again in proper condition.
You can see by what they replaced, it was not pretty.
So all this time we've been trying to take care of our equipment, make sure we're stocked up, ready to go to the Midwest, and then in a matter of like that, we hurt our primary car and we hurt our backup car, in both of them in 2 separate trips because they were at different times. My crew guy Skyler had to drive each of them down to Fresno to be repaired within a day. The boys at KPC take care of us so well, and then drive them back here to be put back together so we could leave for this. So we're about to leave for the Midwest in less than 1 week, and the car that is going to be on track for the trip is sitting behind me as a bare frame. On top of that, it looks like an earthquake went through my race shop. There is parts and pieces and tires and wings and wrecked stuff everywhere. So we're going through it all, we're getting it sorted out, and we're going to work on getting this thing back to race ready. So from the moment we got that car, our heads have been down, and then a day or two later, our spare car showed up, so we tried to have the first one mostly done so then we could focus on that. But basically over, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we were just working as hard as we could in here to get both cars race ready and just be prepared so we could try to meet this cutoff, which is we wanted to leave by July 12th. So long story short, the last week here has basically just been organized chaos. In every single area of our life, we have just been trying to get it together, trying to get prepared so we could make it to the Midwest and fulfill this summer tour that we've been chasing all season and been so excited for. So as things have kind of been getting down to crunch time, it has been stressful, I can't lie, just because we are all throwing everything we have at this to be ready to leave. And it got a little bit more nerve-wracking when we went to fire the 410 because we fired it yesterday afternoon, Monday, so if we had any problems, we just simply weren't going to have any time to fix it. So I felt like out of all the times I've ever fired up a sprint car, that was like the more high stakes, like this has to be right, this thing has to fire up so we can continue over the next 24 hours to get everything loaded. So not trying to be dramatic at all, but a lot kind of lies on what we're about to do firing this car. If there's a major issue with the engine or something happens, like we are on a deadline for this trip trying to leave. So anything that could go wrong could hinder it. So we all just kind of have our fingers crossed and hoping for the best. And it's the standard procedure like normal. All right, attempt number 1 did not fire. That can be normal though, so we'll just try again. Attempt number 2. All right, good news. Everything checks out. It took a second attempt, but everything checks out. So once the car was on the ground, it fired up and it was all put together, I think we all felt much better. And we've done that several times, so it wasn't like it was our first rodeo, but still, it's just like when, the clock's ticking, you're just praying, fingers crossed that you did everything right. So about when we finished the main car, the spare car was also done, so we spent a couple of hours getting that thing upstairs and just getting the upstairs all organized so we could fit as much up there as possible as we're bringing so much equipment on this trip. And just in general, between the trailer and the toter home, we are at maximum capacity. And as of the last 12 hours, we have just been finishing everything up. For any of the new viewers watching or anyone that was not aware of us heading to the Midwest, we are going back there to run multiple different racetracks, but mainly focus on the Knoxville Raceway in preparation for the Nationals. In between those shows, we're going to fill in with some races with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, along with a couple of weekly nights at some of the other tracks. If you want to check out our full schedule, I will link it at the top of the description. And one other thing I wanted to share, with us going on this 4-week-long trip, I've had some fans reach out that want to support, so here is your opportunity. If you own a business, if you have a logo, if you have a product, or just anything you would like to promote, we are actually doing a drawing through my website and social media. So we have 100 spots at $100 a piece, and we're gonna put all 100 names in a hat, my helmet, whatever it may be, and we're gonna draw one winner. Now that one winner is gonna get their logo on the side of my front wing for the Knoxville 410 Nationals. Of course, during the event, we are going to promote them, and once the weekend is over, they get that front wing with their logo on it, signed by myself. And in my opinion, the best part, the winner gets 2 tickets for Wednesday through Saturday of the whole entire show. The whole entire 410 Nationals, 2 tickets, your logo on the front wing, you get the front wing at the end of it. If it all works out, you're there in person to experience it all. So that is something that's been really fun that we've been doing, and then of course, more than anything, it supports our team, it supports our program, and it helps us, try to take that step to the next level. And race against these guys as a family operation. So to everyone that's already purchased tickets, about 40 of the 100 spots are gone. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you would like to support, the link will also be towards the top of the description to check that out. So I think at this point you guys kind of get the gist of it. Ever since June started, it has just been go, go, go here on our race team, and we have been giving it our best foot forward. Whether we have bad nights, whether we have struggles, or whether we have great speed, we're phenomenal, and we're competing for wins, or we're parked in victory lane. In the same mindset, the same mentality, everything we've been doing lately, we're gonna try to take to the Midwest and try to get the race car good, and I'm gonna do my best behind the wheel to just drive the heck out of the car and see what we can do. Now there's one last thing before we do leave and hit the road for the next video. We do gotta go and finish loading the trailer.
Carly, you ready for our 1,000-mile trip, couple 1,000-mile trip?
Yes and no, because of the weather. It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be way too hot.
And we are going to strap this thing down and then head out for what is gonna be the biggest trip, racing trip, biggest trip in general of our lives. I want to say I can finally breathe a sigh of relief, which in a way we can because we are ready to go, but now there's a lot more hard work ahead, a lot more traveling ahead, and a lot more fun to be had ahead, which gets me excited. And it's a lot more fun to do that, in my opinion, away from home, traveling up and down the road, seeing new tracks, seeing fans, kind of, I guess you could say, living the dream. So everything's packed. We're gonna go home, get a good night's rest. My dad's gonna sleep, and then we're gonna be up bright and early and get to trucking. So I think it's safe to say that Midwest Summer Tour 2023 trip for THR officially begins now.